Hi everybody, today we're going to do this step up video. So we're going to start with the beach, work onto the coast and then move to the ocean. Going to talk about the pricing between the three and obviously on specifications as well and things like that. So this kind of concludes the last couple of videos we've done where we've looked at the individual options you can get on the beach, the coast and the ocean. So a couple of things first before we make a start. So we're only looking at the beach, the actual beach camper today. So the tour obviously is a bit more of a people carrier stroke camper van. So for this purpose I'm going to exclude that. So we're just going to look at the actual camping versions of these. All the prices I'm giving you are the full list prices as well, so we can do comparisons. So first things first, we look at the beach. So we're looking between the beach and the coast, the step up that goes from there. The price difference between the beach and the coast is £3,000, which doesn't sound like a lot of money. But what are you missing for that £3,000? I suppose is the thing to look at. Obviously, the insides of the vehicles you can't change. So with the camping version, the beach version, you've got the pull-out cooker. Which obviously once we get one we'll do a video on that and show you how all that works in a bit more detail. And then when we move up to the coast, obviously then we're looking into our full kitchen unit with the sink and the cooker hob and the fridge and your wardrobes in the back as well, which is the same on the coast and on the ocean as well. So £3,000, what is it you're getting between the two that's in there? So these are the options that you get standard on the coast but you don't get on the beach. So the kind of things that make up the difference between what the that £3,000 essentially that you're getting that's different that's there. So you get front and rear parking sensors, lights and vision pack, which is the automatic lights and wipers, electric folding mirrors. But the big difference between the two really here is the auxiliary heater, so the parking heater. The beach doesn't come with a parking heater, but the coast and the ocean do. And that parking heater on its own is £2,328. So that takes up the chunk of the difference in the costings between the two. My thing would be if you're looking for one with a parking heater and that's like a must on your tick list, then realistically I think you'll probably be looking more towards the coast model as one to go for, because then the price difference is going to be very, very small between the two. You might not want one of those, but at the same time you might, for example, prefer the beach because of its actual internal size of it, because you've got a lot bigger bed, for example, in there than you do, because you haven't got all that cooking and spacing as well. But we're not looking at that today. We're not looking at the benefits. That's for you to decide what those benefits mean to you. We're just talking about what the options are today, and obviously to try and give you a step up of what you're actually getting between the two. So I said, so you're moving from beach to coast. Those are things that you're getting as an extra, which are on the coast, and that's what divides up. So those individual items together come to just over £3,000, I think, when I worked it out earlier on. And this is why I've said many times before, I've said it on the coast to the ocean model, about obviously be careful to a certain extent how many options you do put on these vehicles, because obviously every time you do put more and more options on, you're getting closer and closer to the next model up, which has got lots of them as standard features as well, which you'll see when we move on to the coast stroke ocean step up in a moment. One quick thing just to bear in mind with the beach comes with 17-inch alloy wheels as standard. Now the coast actually comes with 16-inch wheels, so kind of a bit of a strange concept. I'm not quite sure why it does that. I'm sure there's a reason why that it just come with those wheels as standard. So obviously there is a cost implications for that, which is probably why that £3,000 would normally be a little bit more. I know on a coast to upgrade the alloy wheels is about £1,000 if you wanted 17s on them as well. So just bear that in mind. That's kind of just throw that into the mix for you as well. So moving on to the coast versus the ocean. So this is the next step up again. So difference in price between the ocean and the coast is £8,478. As I said, these are all list prices, including VAT. That's on here as well. So a lot bigger difference in price between those as you move up as well. And I've got a nice big list of options that you are getting on that particular model that aren't standard on the coast. So I'm going to read them off very quickly for you. So rear camera, front fog lights, LED lights, that's a big option that's there. 3-zone climate control, that's another big option. Privacy glass, you get as standard. The pan roof, which I'm calling it now, with the window on the front. Heated seats, satellite navigation system. You get digital cockpit. You get interior lighting within the upstairs bed section that's on there, and the park assist as well. So those are all options that you get on the Ocean, which is standard on the Ocean, which you don't get on the Coast. So if you add all those options up, to give you a guide, it comes to just under £7,000. But obviously there is one big difference between the two models, which I'm sure if you follow the channel you know. Obviously the Ocean has an electric roof, where the Coast has a manual roof. And I think that quite easily makes up for the difference in those in that costing there between the two. And that kind of probably makes sense to you as well, where I've said before about the options that you add onto the Coast. If you start adding all those bigger options on, so if you start adding things like the satellite navigation, you're adding LEDs, you're adding digital cockpit, for example, you can very quickly get into the thousands and thousands of pounds worth of options and get up to that level of trim for the Ocean. Things are a bit different with the beach, for example, because the Coast and the Ocean are very, very similar. They have the same type of layout, the same type of cooking equipment that's in there. So the camping side is more or less identical, bar the fact it looks slightly different in the materials which you use and the colour options that's in there as well. So just to conclude all that, basically, the Coast is £3,000 more than the beach camper, and the Ocean is £8,500 more than the Coast version. So that's your step up, £3,000 and then another £8,500, and that gets you up in the actual step up of the lineup. So essentially what we're trying to say is, if you're going to come in today and you're looking at a beach camper, for example, and you were going to add, say, £3,500 worth of options, it would be then worth us having a quick look maybe at the Coast and just work out with those, depending on whether those options are the standard or not, and to see whether it would be more beneficial for you to have the Coast. That might be more relevant in, for example, the Coast to the Ocean step up, because I said the vehicles are a lot more similar to each other, where the beach itself with its big bed and its different storage options that's in there, it's a different type of camping within the beach side. So if you want a beach, you probably want a beach. That's probably, you may have already decided that anyway, but it's always worth having a look at those other options as well, and then you can explore which is best for you. Now, not to confuse what we've already been through, the only other thing I would just mention as well is, if you're purchasing your vehicle outright, obviously these all apply to you, and quite a lot of our customers do purchase them outright, but a lot more actually finance the vehicles and put them on a financing option, whether that be a hire purchase or a personal contract purchase. If you're looking at the personal contract purchase, obviously there's a balloon payment at the end, and they're a percentage of the vehicle when it was brand new. So the step ups, for example, that are in here is also step up within your balloon payments, which makes sense, because the Ocean, you'd expect it to be worth more than a Coast after 3 years. So again, when you're adding these options, it's always worth asking for a different quote. If you are considering between the Coast and the Ocean, get a finance quote for both and just see what the monthly payments are. Obviously the overall, you're still spending that amount overall that's on there, but it depends what's important to you. It might be more important to you what the monthly payments are rather than the actual overall cost of the vehicle. When you're looking at those step ups, it's not just the cash step ups that we're looking at as well. You could obviously you might be looking at the financing options as well, and it's all one package to have a look at the same time. So that concludes us looking at the different models. So we've done the pricing on all the three models, looked at all the options, and finally today we've gone through the different step-ups so you can see what the differences are between there. One final thing I must all let you know as well is Volkswagen are having a price increase on the 1st of January for all Californias. That will be the Grand or the Ocean, Coast and Beach. All the vehicles are going up in price. I know we've just had this Brexit price promise, which finished on the 2nd of December, but on the 1st of January this year there will be a price increase for Volkswagen California, whether that be the Grand behind me or the Ocean or Coast models. They'll all be going up in price, and that's from the 1st of January. So pricing currently, anything you've been quoted on anywhere around the country, will obviously be valid up till orders placed up to the 31st of December, and then obviously when we get into January there'll be new pricing version up from there as well. So just worth bearing in mind, just in case if you don't know if you are looking for the end of year, just bear that in mind as well if you're getting any quotes together as well. Hope you've enjoyed today's video and found it useful. If you have, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.